beasts, aren't they? Chuffed to bits. The smallest little thornback. I'll just concentrate on not losing the rod over the side. And its eyes. It's got amazing eyes. Doggy in the boat. Covered in mullet. There's a bit of weight to that, you know. And that's what we want, don't we? We don't want the same all the time. We want something different, a good old show. Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm busy beavering away. I'm on the beach. We loves the beach. What am I up to? Well, first off, where am I? Milford on Sea, Milford shingle. I'm here fishing with Ian Timms. He's fishing about 50-60 yards further along the beach. His kind invitation. And what are we up to? Well, we're after rays, Raymondos, that's what we're after. So I'm going to be using the Century fire blades, the Daiwa BGs for simplicity. I don't want any issues with spooling or any of those kind of things today. And the rigs I'm going to be using is an up and over rig, and there'll be a link to how I make my version of an up and over rig up above. That's it in its little sleeve. In short, it's a very simple rig. Simple's best in my eyes. Complications add complications. I'm excited. I'm all fingers and thumbs. Yeah, so what have we got here? That's the part that goes to your main line with a Trident hangover clip, SRT spring and a power gum stop knot. That is for tensioning the rig. We go all the way down to a pulley swivel with an imp, swivel and rig tubing, my hook snood, which is a reasonable length hook snood, maybe 4 feet, a 1/0 pennel hook and a 3/0 Cox and Royal strong hook. The pennel for here is purely for bait presentation. Don't expect, I don't want anything to get hooked up on that. It's just for laying out the bait. Can be using a 6-ounce breakaway lead, which clips into that imp. You know what I'm going to try and do? I'm going to try and hook it up, and on camera, without it on the rod tip, it never works. Why I do this to myself, I don't know. So on the hangover, into the imp, and that's it all clipped up. So once that's baited, that's how I'll rig it, ready for casting, thump it out as far as I can. When it hits the water, the little paddle, hydrostatic forces, releases the hook, and then you've got a long flowing trace. He says, watch where those hooks go. A long flowing trace where when the fish initially bites, he's just connected to the rod tip. And how tight you make the rod tip, I like to leave it a little bit slack. I don't like it too tight. Some people like their rods really arched over and bent tight in. For this kind of fishing, I don't like that. I like to give it the opportunity to flutter in, have a little mouth and a mouth, grab the bait, maybe see a couple of little rattles, and when he's ready and he's half taken the bait, they nearly always want to move off, then your rod goes over and your drag set on your reel is set correctly to let him take it, but with resistance. So that's what I'm going for. Bait today is either mackerel and squid, or squid on its own. I'm going to vary it. I might do undulates have been caught here, spotted rays, they both like mackerel, small eye like squid, sand eel. So I'm going to edge my bets. I'm going to go mackerel and squid, squid on its own, possibly mackerel on its own. I'll have a tinker around as I go through the session. But what I really need to do is rig this rod and get going. So adjustable reel seat on the Century fire blade. Just got to be careful that when you do wind it down, that you get the alignment correct for the rod to the eyes. And I just let the weight of the reel position itself. Leave it slack enough that the weight of the reel sits where it wants to sit. And that's where we're at. Tighten it right up because I don't want it moving. I'll give you a show round in a minute because I can see the Needles, you can see Hurst, looking back towards Bournemouth. I don't think the air show's started yet. I don't know if we're going to have fast jets going over or any of that stuff. Shock leader with a Trident Thermalink on the end. You know the rest, you just got to thread it through the eyes. I'm going to try and stay out of the wind because there is a lot of wind. prepping the excuses already. There's a lot of east in the wind as well. Solent fishing doesn't usually like an easterly. But I'm confident, hopeful, that we're going to winkle out more than one ray today. That's the target. Not one ray, more rays. Lots of rays. See if we can get a few, between us. See if we can get more than one for sure. See if we can get more than one species would be nice. So that's the end of the shock leader. Clipped on to the top of the rig. There's the weight, there's the hook snood. Now I need to do a baiting up. Let's get the bait ready. So I have mackerel that I vacuum packed myself. I caught those myself from the boat. I didn't catch the squid because that's come from California. I wish I had caught it from California. Big squid, big stuff. Big stuff, big stuff, big stuff. Where is my cloth? Where's the cloth? Ah, there we go. So, need to prep a bait. I think I'm just going to go with that squid to start with. So for this bait prep, I'm going to use a baiting needle and bait elastic. Part of what I'm going to try today, and it may go right, it may not go right, I'm not sure. But it's something I'd like to experiment with today. I've just taken the plasticky bony thing out the back. I've removed the head and I've got a messy opened squid. I'm actually going to wrap it inside out. I've not done this before, or not specifically like this. But what if I don't like it? I don't know, I'm going to try it. I'm going to wrap it as like a sausage, all torn apart and just exposed. It's a right old mess. I'm glad I've got a decent cloth with me today. That's sort of half in, half out, big gooey mess. Right, I'll show you what I've done so far. You can see what a mess that is. Now I'm going to put it onto the bait needle, just by threading the bait needle through. Makes presentation and hook presentation a lot easier. You slide it up to the end. That's getting everywhere. I'm going to have to get myself a bucket of water. And with the hook, drop the pen all clean out of the way, put the hook in the holder, hold the line at the end. You can take a wrap if you like, just to make it easier. Get the elastic, which the end always escapes you. Where does it go? It like hides. There we go. I got it. I got you. Right. And then we make sure that that's bound together, concentrating on the hook so that the hook stays proud. It's a bit stinky, this bait, actually. It doesn't smell that fresh. It's a bit honking. And then a bit down the end, just to make sure that bottom hook is well presented and stays exactly how you want it. This one isn't. It's fighting me. Around the eye of the hook helps. Okay, I'm happy with that. We then get our pennel, which has gone walkabout. Slide him all the way up to the bait. Go on, mate. Down you go. Down you go. Offer it up to where you're going to want it. Take 3 turns. 1, 2, 3. And then hook it in where it's got a decent purchase. Tighten everything up just a little bit. And as easy as slide the baiting needle out. Look at that. Prep bait. Ready to go. 2 hooks opposing. 1 pennel at the top. Helps support the bait and present the bait. The business end where my fingers are at the other end. And it's all mashed up inside out, back to front. It's a right old mess. I think it's going to do the business. Right. I need to cover my bait up in case there's some doggies about. I need to clip that up and fire it out. Let's put that away. stay tidy. Put a lid on it, get a bucket of water in a minute. Cooking by gas, need to get this one out. So that's only one rod out for now. I'm going to fish one rod, prep the second rod. I'm going to wait till the sweet spot of what I think is the tide, but at least I'm fishing. So that rod is out fishing, we're doing the business, and now I'm going to prep another rod, but lay it up and not bait it. Exciting stuff. Here's base camp set up for the next 5 to 6 hours. Needles off to the right in the distance, you can just make them out. To my left, it's a team of guys that have travelled down from Lincoln. It's nice chatting to them. Just had a quick word with them before they set up. And if I pan round, it's getting quite busy. I think there's some expectation of how this is going to fish today, you know, because there's Ian, and then further along the beach, it's getting quite crowded. There's a few people here now. All hunting rays, I'm guessing. Should be interesting. So here we are again, beavering away on the beach. I've just second cast both rods. Both baits have come back clean. I've got mackerel and squid on one, on a bait needle, elastics up, pennel hook at the top. And I've got plain squid on the other. But I've slit it open, and on Ian's recommendation, I've turned it inside out. I've never really done that before. I've always just put them on as they are, maybe pierced it a few times. So I've turned it completely inside out, so you get all that custard and all that jelly and all that kind of stuff inside on the outside. Elasticed it up, makes a right old mess. But maybe the fish like that. So we've got, I don't know, probably about 8 sets of anglers on the beach at the moment. Fairly close confines, so the beach is pretty much packed now. There's not much room for anyone else. I'm sure someone might try and sneak in between somewhere sometime, but it's quite close. And especially the way the tide runs here, you cast out, and even, you can't cast too far up tide because then the person next to you, so you cast out up tide as much as you can, the tide swings it and then grips, so you can't wind in too early. You know, when you've cast out, you can't wind in straight away and set your rod. You've got to give the weight a chance to bump and grip, put a bit of a belly of line out, let it grip and set, and not quite wind into it. Leave a little bit of a belly of line. Otherwise you'll just pull the wires out and it'll go cantering off down the beach. So full of expectation. I think everyone else is as well. It feels fishy. You know, we've put the kiss of death on it, haven't I? But it feels fishy. Nice baits, nice rigs, all set up nice. It's windy, but the wind's behind the shelter like it should be. And we're good to go. So I just had that, you know, that heart-sinking moment. You lift the rod up and it's hard into a snag. You're like, oh, I'm going to lose my shock leader, my rig, my weight, you know, blah, 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 blah. And then my heart starts singing because I've got loads of free tackle. And the rock that they snagged into. So whatever these people had snagged into, and there is 2 full rigs there. So 2 full, yeah, 2 full rigs there. And a truckload of line, which I'm going to put in a bag and put in a bin on the way back. Just check there's no more weights in there, because there's loads of gear here. I just got loads of free tackle. Oh, 6 ounce weight. A breakaway weight as well, that's what I'm going to be using. Yeah. Oh, God, that's stiff. It's been in the water a while. Let's have a look at how good my catch. Look at that. Nothing wrong with that one. What's the other one I got? It looks like a 4, I think. Don't know who was fishing with a 4 here. He struggled to hold bottom. Maybe that's why he got snagged up. Interesting rig. Yeah. Proves that my rig was nice and strong, because it pulled in where 2 others failed. And there we got a nice little little 4 ounce weight. Let's just get that wash up. My little bucket of water. I like to stay tidy. Little 4 ounce weight. And some beads and clips and swivels and stuff, none of which I'll use. Well, I don't know actually, some of it looks quite... This hasn't been in the water that long. I'll sit here while I'm watching the rods and I'll just tidy that up. Tidy that up and put all the line in the bin. Look at all that, that's nearly all line in amongst that. Get it all in the bin. Do the sea a favour. But I've saved the blank with 2 weights. So I'm just prepping another bait. This is going to be my 3rd bait. Ian has angled out a little starry smooth hound. I don't know, little pup one, 2.5, 3 pound maybe. I didn't see it that close, but it wasn't a monster. But it's welcome. I haven't caught any, well I have, I've caught a couple of weights. But yeah, still need to catch a fish yet. Meeting loads of people today. Loads of people saying hello, love it. Look at that, he looks so pleased with himself. Oh, yeah. What a cracking fish, let's have a look. It's a stunner, isn't it?
Yeah, I reckon he's probably about 5, 6 pound maybe.
And what bait do you reckon, mate? What was you have on there?
Squid, whole squid.
Whole squid, nice. Yeah. Absolutely stonking.
Just literally went to do a bait change, pulled into it.
And he was there.
Wait, and there he was.
There's a lesson for everyone there, isn't it? Because it's like, you don't always see the bite.
No, no.
Especially if they've just sat on it.
Yeah, slack tide, there you go.
Cracking fish, mate. He's going, look at that. And he's coming back. He'll turn. They're stunning, aren't they? I love a ray.
What's he going, mate?
Just setting himself in, you can see it. And then all of a sudden there'd be a couple of beats to the wing and he'd be gone. Cracking. Well done, mate. But it seems to be livening up. So Jay's just had a really pretty little undulate, guessing about 5 or 6 pounds. And he lifted into it, he didn't see the bite. And I've just had a cheeky little starry. Oh, easy, 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 easy. A cheeky little starry, smooth hound. Look at that. Oh, calm down, calm down, calm down. You're going back in. I'm not going to eat you. Yeah, cheeky little starry. Just wet his nose. Look at that. What a stunner. Could see all the little goldy glittery bits as he come in with my head torch on when I was reeling in. And there he was. So I'm going to get this little critter back in. I'm going to change more water in my bucket as well. So I'm going to do both at the same time. See if we can get a good shot of him going back. Come on, bub. There you go. There you go. There he goes. So a pretty little starry smooth hound on half a rolled squid. And I think Jay's was on pretty much a whole squid, I think. So get some baits out, fresh baits out, get fishing, eh? Nothing for hours and then it all livens up, but just as the sun goes down. So let's see what else we can winkle out. So we've just reached sunset now, pretty much. It's darkening right down now. Yeah, all eyes transfixed on rod tips. Willing the rod tips to go. It'd be nice to get a ray out tonight. The smooth hound is nice, but the target was always a ray. It'd be nice to get a ray tonight. Just willing them on. Next bait's prepped, ready to go out. That'll be go out in a minute. So was that a screaming take on that one, Ian, or did he?
It was a complete drop back and run left, back up tide, mate.
And he slacklined you?
He slacklined me this one.
Still on squid?
Sorry?
Still on squid?
All on squid again, whole squid.
Yeah.
Cut down the middle, turned inside out. Little up and over, pulling it up and over rig, and yeah.
That is almost a mirror of the one I caught earlier.
Yeah.
Seriously, it must. I reckon they pack in the same size, don't they?
Yeah, and this one was at slightly shorter range. So,
Fair one. I might have to bring one rod in short, one long. Nice. Congratulations, mate.
thank you very much, Mark.
You're getting back in. He didn't hang around, did he? He went straight away. He's gone. So I'm not sure why, but there's fireworks going off on the Isle of Wight. I'm fishing, there's fireworks. Look at that. It's a long way away. I could hear the booms and the bangs and the pops. I still have one rod fishing, but I'm in the process of packing up and sort of getting my gear ready. Yeah, so how did we get on tonight? Well, it's been difficult, to be honest. It's been difficult, but we fished it hard. So Jay and Ian, myself, between us, Jay had the nice undulate earlier on. Pretty little fish, that one. Ian's had 2 hounds. I've had a hound, which saved the blank. And apart from that, it's been hard work, but enjoyable nonetheless. I didn't get it on camera because when I tried to focus, it just wasn't having it. It was too far in the distance. But earlier on, offshore, a German wide-haired pointer swam past. You're like, what? What are you on about, Mark? No, offshore, hundreds of yards out, being carried along by the tide, and it's strong here, there was a dog. He'd swam out to sea and he was going for the Isle of Wight. I think a paddleboarder caught up with him in the end and managed to grab hold of him. But he'd swam as far as we could see because we could hear the people shouting, and as far as we could see that way. And the dog was just going for it. So that was weird. And then firework display, random firework display. Don't know what that's for. But interesting nonetheless. So all in all, 3 hounds, 1 undulate, between 3 anglers. It's really nice meeting people on the beach. Wish we could do, COVID's really put a stopper on that. But to meet up with Ian today, to meet Jay for the first time, and to meet the gentleman that came down from Lincoln, all the way from Lincoln to fish the South Coast, introduced himself, and I apologise, I forgot your name. But yeah, it's nice meeting people, chatting to people, and fishing. It's cracking. Love it. So there's still 1 rod out. If anything changes, I'll get back. But otherwise, from me, from here, for now, it's goodbye. Take care, tight lines, and I'll see you soon. Take care.